Hello guys, welcome to the first episode that I've been talking about all week. I'm really excited to actually get started with this. The first episode is going to be very scuffed, let's say, considering I'm trying to figure all this out and we'll slowly improve with it. You know, these are just the test run. However, what this is essentially going to be is this is going to be an episode that I do every Sunday on the channel, and it's just going to be me talking about different topics and different discussions and opinions I have on things. And today we're going to be talking about whether or not games are just bad or we're old, because I do genuinely believe that that does play a factor into how we actually opinionate on things. But before we get into that, I'm going to call this show, I guess, mini podcast thing, Camp Conversations. Because if you're a part of the Discord, if you watch the community, if you follow anything, the whole vibe we go for is camping. So that's essentially what we're going to do. Right, so let's get into the subject of things, right? So my opinion when it comes to the topic I wanted to talk about, whether or not games are bad or it's just that age. Because if you think about it in life itself, when it comes to our opinions on games, back in the past, we had all this time to run around, play games, be stupid kids, and enjoy life a bit more. There was less responsibility about stuff. But then now that I'm getting older, I find it that I have less time to play games, less effort to play games as well. And what I mean by that is it's like I have so much other stuff I have to worry about. I don't really care if a game is good or not anymore. I more just want to sit there and go, is this enjoyable? Do I like playing it? Or is it just one of the things where I'm just passing the time, forgetting I exist in a way? But when I was younger, growing up and playing COD in the good old days, people would say, I do genuinely believe it's a case of massive nostalgia goggles, right? Because bear in mind, I played COD for 10 years growing up, right? I absolutely love the game. It's all I did. I played it every day for years without an issue. Never had a problem with any of the games other than Advanced Warfare. But actually, you know what? Let's talk about Advanced Warfare quickly, because I genuinely believe the only reason that I hated the game or admitted that I didn't like it was because all my friends said it was bad. I do genuinely believe peer pressure and the internet's opinion on subjects genuinely weighs such a heavy toll on people who, in a sense, want to fit in, want to agree with people. It's very rare that you meet somebody that actually wants to disagree with people, which is why I'm kind of glad the way I am now is that, if anything, I seem to have a much more outside opinion on things. I don't seem to fit in with what the majority of people say. Like, people go on and on about how, like, you know, never mind. We'll get off topic with that one. Let's get back onto the case at hand here. But I genuinely believe that if you get past the whole fact of, like, when you were younger, you had friends on every day, you were in a PSN party or you're in Xbox voice calls, you had people to talk to, you had people to interact with. There was nothing, like, bothering you at the end of the day. And if, in all fairness, if you were a little shit during school and stuff, you didn't homework, you didn't worry about any of that. So it was just go home, eat dinner, play games with your friends, and then sleep, wake up, do it all over again. And that was the best sense in the world. It was literally the easiest time to be alive ever. Whereas it's like now, I genuinely don't think COD has changed at all. Like, I think Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 6 are pretty much the exact same game with different maps. Yes, movement has changed, mechanics are slightly better, and it feels smoother. But the games are the same. That's one of the problems with FPSs. It's just aim, shoot. Simple as it is. They don't really need to tweak much. It's just, does the game format still work today? And I genuinely believe that for little kids and people who enjoy playing COD still at a young age, enjoy it the same way we did, because it's just one of those games that you can jump on with your friends, chill out and play before school starts again. But we don't have that anymore. Like, if you try and load Black Ops 6 now and play a full party with your friends, you'll get 7 answers back saying that they're busy, they've got work, they've got things to do. Some even have kids to look after. And, you know, it's not a very progressed 23-year-old man. I don't have much to do about that. So mean, obviously, I work myself and stuff, but I do genuinely believe that nostalgia goggles play a big factor on the way we feel about games and just everything in life as general. But that's one of the reasons why I think nostalgia goggles are one of the reasons on why we think games are bad now. But it's like Fortnite as well. The same thing happened there. It's like you had all this time to play with friends during school and stuff, but now that you're an adult, you don't have that time to play those types of games anymore. And people love throwing around about how game developers only care about microtransactions or trying to hit the fat bag, when I do think there are a lot of companies out there, right, that do this. Not naming any, but there are some that do it, and their games are shit, you know? However, there are also some incredibly good games that have come out over the last 10 years. Like, think about it. One of your favorite games might have been released in the last 10 years. You have Cyberpunk, you've got Red Dead 2, you've got Witcher, you've got Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate, so many, and don't even get me started on God of War and stuff like that. All of these games are incredible, and they were all released during the time that you were pretty much an adult, but they have the side effect that they're all single player games. So, I mean, they can't. The problem is single player games don't have the same attention span as what multiplayer games do. It has a smaller following and then it kind of dies out. Like, look at Black Myth Wukong. The game was incredible. And when it dropped, it had all the attention of the internet for a week. And then it was dead. Nobody spoke about it again, pretty much. Because that's what story games do. But then people forget about how good these games actually are. And instead, they just go back to the focal talking points of, oh yeah, but Fortnite. Really? Yeah, I believe that that's why single player games don't get the appreciation they deserve. Like, for example, not an indie company, but a very small company who recently have just come out of the woodworks with an incredible project is Expedition 33. I will confidently say, and I will argue to the fact that Expedition 33 is my favorite story game I've ever played. Especially from the production, the amount of time, the team that went into it. Just everything about it makes it seem like it's more impressive than what a normal big project by a triple rated company would be, which is why it holds such a good place and a high place on my tier of favorite games in that sense. But then obviously these are people that still need to make money. They're a small company, but yet they care about the players first. Us, they care about what we want less than how can they fill the gigantic sack of pennies. And I think that's important, but there's just not much of that out there nowadays. Think about where money is, right? It's all to do with people, and people stay playing multiplayer games. And obviously with multiplayer games, most people don't have the time to put into them, right? You could hop on, play a couple of games, but you wouldn't consider them to be incredible. But then, for example, if, I don't know, Red Dead 2 came out, you sat there for 6 hours and you played half of the game and then you did it for the rest of the week, you're going to sit there and be like, I invested so much time into this, I enjoyed it, my attention span for this said game was all there, but it's also just due to the case of, it's a story game. It sucks you in, that's what it wants you to do. And that's the way it's designed. But I think a lot of the reasons on why we believe that games are bad now is essentially just down to our age. Like, I'm not getting home from work I used to love League of Legends, right? But I'm not getting home from work and excited to jump on a game of League. It doesn't matter to me that the games are 30 minutes, that's whatever. It's more along the lines of I want to play games either with my friends or games that are good. And I don't think games like League and COD and Battlefield and all these games coming out that are strictly to do with multiplayer are very good. I tend to find that I'll enjoy any game if it's with friends. And I think that's where these games flourish from. But now that I'm older, and I'm just speaking about me here, right? I don't have many people to branch off and play these games with anymore. So for me, it would just be the case of, oh, I'm playing them solo, you know? I don't particularly think that's very enjoyable. Like, I used to do the race to prestige every COD, but I used to do it with friends to compete with them, see who could get there first. I tried to do a race to prestige on Black Ops 6. I gave up in 2 days because there's just no point. I can't be bothered. But yeah, I'll happily put 100 hours plus into Witcher and Cyberpunk because they're just for me. You know, the stories are what's good. So when I mean like, are games actually bad or not? I wouldn't say gaming has got worse. There's just so much of it out there. It's like with content creators as well, right? Think of social media. Social media back then used to be such a small thing, right? So the people that were doing it were the pioneers of the projects, right? They were the first people to come up with an idea that they then put into a game format, which then attracted a whole new wave of people. And for the time, it was smaller. Just like other content creators, like there's so much out there now, it's harder to find the good stuff. So like, for example, I am by no means what I would say a high production content creator, right? Like half of my shit scuffed. Before I did this episode, I spent 20 minutes trying to fix my webcam. But it's like, this is what I mean when it comes to games. There's so much out there to look for that 9 times out of 10, you're gonna find dog shit. And that's just the way it is. People are trying to make money, you know, they're trying to make livings off this stuff. And the problem to do that is they cater towards the things that work for other companies, like microtransactions. It's just an easy way to make money, even from a small amount of the percentage of people that actually do support your game, but it has income in it. Whereas a story game, it's very hard to do stuff like that with. And okay, I said I wasn't going to shit on a company here. However, one of them that I really don't like, well, not company, but game in a sense, is Assassin's Creed. There's not many story games that come to mind where I can actually pinpoint that they have microtransactions, which I think is crazy. How do you have microtransactions for a story game? But that's just the choices they make. They need to make money. They need to have profits. But if you look into games at a deeper level, right, are there many other games that you'd sit there and say are actually bad? Or is it a gimmick or a scheme that you don't like the game does that you then pitfall it as being the entire reason why it's bad? Like, as a person, do you believe that microtransactions alone in a game make it bad? Because to me, if I'm going to play a game and it's good, but there's microtransactions, then I don't immediately just think the game's worse. I'm like, okay, there's microtransactions. Just don't buy them. It is that simple. But I don't think that that should make it to where a game is bad. Like, for example, Fortnite is still an incredible game. Do I play it? Fuck no. Do I entertain it? Also no. I think that is down to not liking games that involve having people to play with anymore. Like, I never used to run and play solo Fortnite or anything like that. It'd always be squads, duo. I was playing with people. And I don't think that I would then say that the game is bad because of that. I would just say I'm getting old. And I have that opinion with a lot of stuff, like COD as well. I don't think COD is bad. Like, I don't think Black Ops 6 is any better or any worse than Black Ops 6. The game feels the exact same, other than the movement tweaks and the new maps and the new guns, which, yeah, sure, I guess you could say are changes. But it's like FIFA. It's just like slapping a new rating on a player card and going, congratulations, we did change stuff, but, you know, the change means fuck all. But I'm not going to then take it away and say that the game is bad all of a sudden, because the game was good 10 years ago. Why would it not be good now? And I mean, I guess you could also go on the sense of saying, oh yeah, but they haven't innovated. They haven't changed anything up. They haven't switched it in a sense. You go, but why? They're not. I don't think they're making the game for people of my age. They care more about the up-and-comers, the people who you were 10 years ago. I think that's where the companies work from. And I think that's why I don't play them anymore today. But I don't think they're bad games by any means. I just think that I am old. Well, getting old, you know. Not there yet, guys. Chill out. But I genuinely do think that's a lot of the problem with the world today, is that nostalgia plays a heavy fact on people's opinions. It's the same with movies, TV shows, and I don't like it in a sense. I think that people need to be more real about things and actually accept whether or not, well, not accept, but just review what was actually good back then and what's good now. Because, like, I have a bunch of arguments with friends and people that I know that talk about how COD is dog shit now, and I'm like, but it's not changed. Why was it good 10 years ago, but it's not good for you now? And then they'll come back with some really stale points or just a really counteractive statement. And I just think it's silly. I don't believe that majority of games are bad nowadays. I just think I can't be bothered to play them or interact with them because I am old. I play single player games and I play the occasional party game when I do have chance to play with my friends. But other than that, I don't really think games are bad anymore. I just think I'm old. And I'm okay with that. The question is, are you guys okay with it? Are you okay with the fact that games might not be bad, you're just getting old? Or do you believe that games are actually bad? But depending on where you stand on the case, let me know in the comment section. If you actually enjoyed this video, right? Because I want to keep doing this. I like this. I like interacting with people. I'll be replying to every comment. So make sure you comment down below. And let me know what you think. And also, improvements will come. Bear with her, okay? But if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. And I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Camp Conversations.